Hi, my loves. Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth about the Liberated Woman program and giving you a more thorough breakdown of what to expect in each module. So, this is perfect for those of you who are kind of on the fence, who are curious, and want to know a little bit more. So, if that's you, definitely stay tuned. So the program itself is a 6-week live program, and each week we cover a different module which is focused on a specific theme. So we'll have a live call on Saturday, about an hour and a half to 2 hours, where we really go deeply into the theme of that week. And then for the rest of the week, you'll receive extra pre-recorded videos and also homework practices which are specifically related to the theme of that week. And then when we move into the next module, we'll move into the new theme with new practices and new homework. So the first module, the first week, is called the initiation. And this is the module where basically we lay all the groundwork and all the foundational pieces in order to make the most out of the 6 weeks together. So in the first week, we're going to be setting the container, getting to know each other, and getting really clear on where it is that you are and where it is that you desire to go. What state do you desire to tap into? This is a really, really important part, because until we don't have the clarity of what it is that we truly desire and what we want to gain from the program, right, there's not really that guiding light that is carrying us through it and ensuring that we get the most out of the program. So the first module is going to be about laying out all the groundwork. We're also going to be looking at your life at large and which areas of your life maybe need a little bit of tweaking in order to be more in line with everything that we're going to be talking about in the program. And you'll also be introduced into the yoni egg practice, and we'll be doing a really, really beautiful invocation ceremony all together to really get centered and get in a sense of alignment to start the program from that centered place. Then the second module is called Liberated Eros, and this module is dedicated to clearing out anything which is not serving our sexual blossoming. We're going to be looking really deeply into our subconscious beliefs and programming that we hold around all things pleasure, womanhood, sexuality, and where some of those programmings may not actually be serving what it is that we desire to step into. We're also going to be looking at ancestral healing. So a lot of the times we can hold beliefs and programming and stories and even traumas from our lineage, and they can be stored in our body, and they can be kind of impacting the way that we feel sexually and the way that we perhaps don't feel so open sexually because of these little pieces inside of us. Ancestral healing has been a huge part of my journey. Those of you who have been here for a while know that I come from a background of a religious family, and there is a lot of different painful pieces in my lineage, and really looking into that and releasing that was so liberating for me and gave me so much more space to really be me and to feel free. So we're going to be looking at that. And you'll also be introduced into a yoni clearing practice to physically clear tension and blockages from the inside of your yoni, aka your vagina. You'll be learning a de-armoring practice. And in this module also, we'll be coming into sacred relationship with our yoni and with our body. This is such an important piece because so often we have stories of pain or of hurt related to our body and our sexuality. And it's so important when we step into this journey of sexual empowerment and sexual healing to really come back into a sacred relationship between us and our body, us and our yoni, us and our sexuality. So that is going to be another element of that module. Then the third module is called Pleasure as Medicine. And I think the name kind of says it all. Here in this module, we're going to be diving deeply into the world of pleasure. You're going to be learning about all the different female orgasms, how to activate them, also how to tap into deeper orgasmic states and waves. So most of us, if you've had orgasms before, for most people, they tend to be really short, right? Like a few seconds and then they're over. So in this module, we're going to be diving into the world of stepping into orgasmic waves or states where you can actually learn to orgasm for a really prolonged period of time and become multi-orgasmic, meaning that you experience orgasm after orgasm after orgasm. This module is also great for those of you who've never experienced an orgasm before, because we're going to be diving really deeply into the female anatomy of arousal and all the different pieces that come into play during the arousal process, and some of the common blockages that can come in the way of us actually letting go into a powerful orgasm. So if you've never had an orgasm, or if you have difficulty orgasming, let's say with a partner or by yourself, then this module is going to be super, super helpful for you. And obviously in this module also we're going to be diving deep into self-pleasure and expanding our view of what self-pleasure means and making it something juicy and enticing. A lot of the time women can have resistance to self-pleasure, or they feel bored, or they just want to like quickly, you know, rub, have a quick orgasm and fall asleep. But in this module, we're going to be really looking at reframing what self-pleasure means and making it a really, really juicy, nourishing, and empowering practice. Module 4 is called Fuck Like a Goddess. This is definitely the juiciest module, and this is where we'll be looking at bringing all of that cultivation that we've built up in the first 3 weeks into our relationship. So if you're in a relationship, you'll get to put that to practice right away. If you're single, it's going to be super helpful for you to know all these tools to take into your next relationship. So either way, you're definitely going to benefit from this module. And first of all, we're going to look deeply into what does it mean to fuck like a goddess. You know, it doesn't mean, hint, doesn't mean to fuck like a porn star or to perform. So we're going to be looking at that. And then you'll be learning how to open up into the different sexual archetypes. So what happens for most of us is that we get into habitual patterns during lovemaking. So, you know, we have a certain set of positions that we do. We have a certain way that we express ourselves, right? And most of us throughout our life kind of stay in that limited expression. And you might even have had times where you felt this desire to express yourself in a different way, maybe being a little bit more wild or more sensual or more kinky or more devotional, whatever it may be, and kind of feeling stuck to step out of your habitual patterns. So in this module, we're going to be opening up the channels to all these different expressions that can move through you during lovemaking. So we're going to be expressing the more soft and sensual expression, the more wild, the more passionate expression, the energy of the priestess, and this more devotional energy. And you're going to be learning different ways to feel more comfortable in expressing yourself with all these different flavors. I always say that lovemaking is like creating a painting, and ideally the more colors we have, right, the more artsy we can become, the more creative our painting, our lovemaking can become. So when we open up to all these different ways of expressing ourselves sexually, it's just like having more colors to play with during lovemaking and to create a masterpiece, an art piece out of sex. In this module, you'll also be learning some sex goddess skills, so some practical skills to feel more empowered and confident in the bedroom. You'll be learning about the art of sexy communication. I'll also be teaching you my favorite way to dirty talk. And if just saying that, you're like, oh my God, I feel so uncomfortable with talking dirty in bed, or that's not something that I feel comfortable with, don't worry, because exactly if that's where you're at, then that part is going to be super, super helpful for you. I give you a really different way to look at dirty talking and sexy communication, and really practical ways to make it feel natural and effortless, and to not feel awkward or like you don't know what to say. So we're going to be opening up our throat channel, which is super, super important also as we become more empowered sexually as women, because our throat center is deeply, deeply connected to our sex center. In this module, there's also a few more secret surprises. Actually, almost in all of the modules, there's a few secret videos that I didn't mention, because I like to tease you a little and to have a few surprises for after you start the program. Module 5 is called Queen Codes, and this module is all about deeply understanding masculine and feminine energetics, both within yourself and also how those dynamics come into play in relationship. We're going to be diving really deeply into polarity and how to keep the passion and erotic tension alive in our relationships. As you guys know, if you've been here for a while, this is something I'm super passionate about. I've been with my partner for about 6 years, and I'm very happy to say that our relationship is still full of passion and sexual chemistry because we make sure to implement all of these different things that I'll be sharing with you in this module. You'll also be learning about feminine magnetism, what feminine magnetism is, how you can step into that, and how you can use your feminine magnetism in order to evoke certain things in your relationship and in your partner. So this is a topic I love. I love speaking about this, about how to create erotic tension, not from a place of trying to control or do, or from this very like dry, rigid place, but actually by using your feminine magnetism and your feminine juice to naturally create that tension, that chemistry between you and your partner. And lastly, module 6 is all about Tantra and energetics. And this, I kept like the little jewel for the end because this is by far the most requested topic I get all the time. As you guys know, I've been practicing Tantra for many, many, many years, and so far I've kept it pretty private. It's something I teach more in my in-person workshops and that I might mention here and there, but I haven't fully opened up to teaching that in the online world. It's been just more my personal practice between me and my partner, and something that has been really deep in my own life. And in this program, I'm really excited to open up more and share more about the different jewels and the different teachings of esoteric Tantra. So I'll be sharing with you different esoteric teachings and practices, the types of practices that you don't find on Google, that you don't find in a book, but that are truly esoteric and traditional. And we'll be diving into what it means to live a tantric life or to be a tantric woman, right? What does it mean to actually embody those principles in day-to-day life so it doesn't become this disconnected part of our life that we do during an exercise, but then when we move on to the rest of the day, we're completely disconnected from that. But how do we integrate that into our day-to-day life so our lifestyle becomes tantric and there's no more that separation between who we are in daily life and what we may practice on the mat or during lovemaking. All right, my loves, so that was a little overview, a little bit more in depth of the 6-week journey. I hope that that gave you a little bit more clarity on what to expect, and also helps you to really tune into yourself and see if this program is a right fit for what it is that you're desiring to step into.